used. I'm surprised. A couple of grenades could finish them off there.
That's how you saw that glue up put up, right? Gaming Gladiators, they don't want to take any chances. And Twisted Minds, they're not going to do that. They're not going to take their chances as well. LBT getting taken down on that elimination feed as Team Falcons finally showing up. But Sin gets spotted. Good day with the secure. Fluxo eliminated. Don't Cry getting ran at by On Fire. And Team Falcons are just going to hunt them down. Don't Cry falls along with ESports.
That was the perfect revenge found within this match in itself. It was ESports that sent Falcons flying off, running with tails stuck between their legs, one after the other.
That's our MVP from Thailand. That's our sniper MVP do.
Yeah. Right
there. The one with the most MVP in a single league. And no one came close to him. But still, AG taking off fights one by one, slow and steady. Neshu Miners, on the other hand, will have to face off against Team Falcons.
Maneuver from Team Falcons, but General goes in for the shutdown. It's a grenade that finds one more, pun intended.
Absolutely stunning performance from General, leading the charge and making sure that his team goes for the clean play. Koskill with the Mac 10 finds
Game 2, absolutely stunning the Falcons here at Game 3. And now EVOS Divine, Apex can't run away from Gaming Gladiators, all suffering outside of the blue zone. Little by little, they creep on in, but a fantastic showdown out against the Indonesians.
How many of the GG members can make it into the pick-up Raz with a good rescue? They are doing it so well, the juggling from the side of GG. Teamwork at its finest, they all make it to safety.
Yeah, I thought the Team Falcons were very used to this heat, man. I guess they're not just yet. But thank goodness this is just Point Rush. The recovery can be there for the grand finals. But Netshoes,
Twisted Minds in front of them, but also Gaming Gladiators to the west side with that Dinoculus that they deployed earlier on. But for Twisted Minds, they still somehow managed to find cover. And this is a pretty good spot, right? Even having a monster truck right in front of them, they could take a few eliminations with those pot shots.
AG. But they just have to stick by, hoping and praying that they do not get found. It is the Wonder Child Duke, one of the best snipers out there from the Thai region. We did not see a lot of him in terms of dominance over at FFWSC. But Buriram trying to make that recovery gameplay as well as Gaming Gladiators get taken out.
BRU finally having a great round. This is the round that they are going to get that big point injection regardless of the results. Twisted Minds now a part of this final conflict. It is going to be Armageddon unleashed. Exposy ends up going down first, and BRU is the only team with a full squad left.
Twisted Minds slowly but surely circling around. 909 in a lot of trouble. Both Buriram and Twisted Minds focusing on Netshoes Miners. You do not get a back-to-back booyah by the looks of things here, Netshoes. Diamond, a couple away, waiting for that final engagement, allowing Buriram to do most of the dirty work.
A ticking time bomb about to explode. Netshoes Miners cannot escape the grasp of fate. Nando 9 goes down to the ice grenade, and Proc 7 will just have to make a mad dash for it as BRU feeling confident enough that this is their time to remind the stage who they are as the team. Was Sana going in for a nameless. Twisted Minds getting picked apart left, right, and center, absolutely dismembered, and Buriram United Esports back here to stay here to conquer the entire world again. The Brazilian regions in particular put such a big target on their back, and they want to make sure that when the heat comes, they can respond.
But that said though, Netshoes Miners from a mediocre performance
Really impressive. I think even if they don't win this round, it doesn't really matter, right? Yeah. This is the improvement, the growth we want to see from NMG. Sure, of course, certain teams will fall behind. It's the nature of competition, but it's good to see some new faces.
Absolutely, and of course, we have not seen that perfect interaction between these 12 teams in every single game. We had the group stage to play with. A few of those teams got swapped out, a few got thrown in, but this is the true preview of the grand finals, and it's so interesting to see that nobody can really tell exactly who's going to be grabbing the booyah at the end of the day.
Yeah, this is just the halfway point of Point Rush, right? The heat is just getting hotter and hotter. And like you said, so many permutations of what we can expect. And they will never have enough time, and that just leaves a lot of unpredictable circumstances waiting to be discovered.
Absolutely, man. And of course, it is a absolute beauty as to how Twisted Minds got into the final circle as well. But unfortunately for them, they just did not have...
Unless you're Motion. The only guy that takes a sniper rifle, does a 360, 720 in close range and wins the game for you.
Absolutely. And of course, Buriram showing that they are most definitely not going to be staying at the very bottom of the leaderboard. But the Brazilians as well showing that they've got the resiliency, right? I am most that it is the one and only Tash Bunny and Obvi at the stage.
A very exciting moment. The air completely electric as the cheers from the crowd is completely wild. Today's a very important day as Point Rush goes through. We all know what happened today. We've seen so many different things happening. We saw hot drops, we saw change in pace, and also aggression coming in for the rest of the day. Today is the day where everyone is going all out.
Yes, and we can see a little recap for the Fluxo PE and AG Global as well, where Fluxo got the first booyah. And for the second 5-way fights, whereby the Netshoe Miners came out from to get the second game booyah. And for the third Buriram, they were on the 12th place. And with that 3-way fights, they there, and of course, they will try to get the best point for that Point Rush.
That's right. When we look about today, what's really important to see is how the last few circles have been happening. Game number 1 especially intense with 5 teams still alive, the ring on the knockout stage yesterday, making it to the end. Regardless, I think we have an interview happening on stage. Let's throw it to our very, very cool stage host. It's gonna be Milo as well as Yunsul.
Why, thank you so much, Tash and Ovi. Yes, my name is Milo. Seriously, guys, welcome back to the panel. We are going to have an interview lined up for you guys in just a second. But before that, though, we've got a lot of stuff that we have to talk about. It has been rather spread across the board. I want to hear your thoughts about this. Why is that? Is this a case of teams just really trying different things? Is it maybe some teams trying to go for a defined strat and then they're just being foiled? Like, what's really going on for today?
Everybody is just so good. Like, the level of play is so high that it's kind of even throughout. I mean, BRU was last place. They got the booyah on this one. They're going to be evenly distributed throughout. So this is kind of like a crazy situation where like all the teams have kind of gotten even points. I would make some sort of communist joke here, but I mean, it's only funny if everyone gets it.
I mean, couldn't agree more. There's a lot of teams really that's showing up, and that's the reason as well why they are here right now on the Point Rush. Top 12 from knockout stage, but I'm seeing a lot of change teams that might need a few more like hype in terms of grabbing placement point, because they would need that once they get in grand finals.
Yeah, and Neptune, we actually discovered something really interesting from our last couple of play days.
After reviewing all the numbers, all the points from the knockout stage, the bottom 3 adding up for all those 3 days, or bottom 6 rather, adding up all of those 3 days are the bottom 6 that has been eliminated.
Do well on Kalahari. That's a really big benefit to you as a team. But Kalahari's done and dusted. We've done 3 games today. We've got 3 more maps to go, and we have Alpine coming up next. So who are the defining teams that we need to look to come?
We just seen, and this is coming from Kalahari.
Yeah, Buriram looking fantastic. They have been sitting towards the bottom of the bracket, so super happy with this one. It will push them up and it will lock in a couple points for them. Not guaranteed since we are only halfway through the competition, but AG so aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 51 in total points, and elimination is composed of 29 of that. So even the placement point is like topping the rest of the teams. I love what I'm seeing from AG Global. Hopefully this...
So that if you come across AG, they have been hyper aggressive. They are happy to bring the fight. I think Buriram fans going to be super happy to see Buriram on the screen because we haven't seen them up until this point. Picking up these points, but for Funa, 4 eliminations for that round in Kalahari. Buriram back.
They were never gone. Let me be honest, okay? It was just 2 games. It was kind of warming up on this one, but you know, Buriram is Buriram. Whenever they want, they'll just turn it up. They'll get that MVP, and they'll continue on and get that booyah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There's a huge chance really that they can bring it back. There's also a greater chance that they're just chilling. They're finding out how the rest of the teams are playing it out, especially for those who's giving it all, and then later in grand finals, they're just going in there, bam!
Yeah. Seeing that they had this victory here, do you think teams are going to be like, okay, I think we have to deal with Buriram again because they're starting to make that comeback happen? I mean, what are the chances of that possibly happening? We'll find out after this, though, because it looks like we have a stage interview ready to go. So let's see what our winners have to say after securing their booyah.
Hey everyone, welcome to our interview show. Right next to me is Buriram leader and eSports Funa. Funa, can you say hello to the audience, please?
ทักทายแฟนๆหน่อยครับ
สวัสดีครับผมภูนะครับ
Hello I'm Puna guys
First of all, congratulations game booyah of this. You guys did an amazing job. Then, since today is our point rush stage, how do you feel about the heat and the intensity of the stage today?
ด้วยความที่รอบนี้เป็น Point Rush เนี่ยรู้สึกว่าเกมมันตึงขึ้นบ้างหรือเปล่าครับ
ตึงขึ้นครับ
More intense yes
Very intense. I can see that as well. Do you see that your rivalry, which is Twisted Minds, how would you rate them?
แล้วคิดว่าผลงานของ Twisted Mind ตอนนี้เป็นยังไงบ้างครับให้เราลองวิเคราะห์ดูก็ได้ครับ
ก็ดีครับ
Good
I can see that because they always meet each other on the game a lot. So, last questions. Do you have any words you want to send to the Thai viewers and so everyone who is watching AWC Free Fire?
มีอะไรอยากจะฝากถึงแฟนๆชาวไทยที่กำลังดูอยู่ตอนนี้ไหมครับ
ฝากเชียร์ทีมไทยด้วยนะครับ
Please cheer all the Thai team please thank you
Thank you, Funa, so much, and I hope that you guys will be having more and more booyah in the next game. This is the end of our interview with Buriram United Esports Funa. Let's head back to the studio.
To be fair, I think Buriram, they're going to have to feel a little bit of this heat here. They are feeling a little bit stressed, but having that comeback in game number 3, I think that definitely has pushed up that team morale. But now you're going to have to wonder, and we said this before we went to the interview, is Buriram now going to be the target of all these teams? Because we've seen what's happened in the past, right? Buriram, they sort of disappear for a little bit from the leaderboard, you think they're gone, and then they come back when you least expect it.
I'm going to carry over what your answer was earlier. Well, they still are. They still are the target of the teams, and we've seen that so many times. I would love to see other teams really show up, to show on the radar of the other teams, especially coming from Brazil. But Buriram United, just a strong team. They might be the first one being hit on, so they need to outplay them all.
Yeah, and I think if I'm one of the other teams, I still don't want to awaken this beast. I'm going to let them get their points. They're going to get their booyah at some point. Let them have it. Just kind of, I would avoid them altogether.
Fair. I think that's a very solid strat. Now, as we do prepare for our next matchup, we actually managed to catch up with RRQ backstage just to get their thoughts on how they're feeling today, because it hasn't been the best RRQ day. So let's see what RRQ have to say after that match.
And welcome back to Free Fire Esports World Cup. I'm Carol Bombshell, and I'm happy to be here with the RRQ, a team from Indonesia. Thank you guys for letting me interview you. And for the first question, I would like to know, you guys did very great during the qualify phase, but you're not having really good results here today. What is actually happening?
Kalian kan memiliki hasil yang bagus di kualifikasi, lalu sekarang hari ini kalian juga punya hasil yang bagus juga. Nah, kira-kira apa sih yang sebenarnya terjadi hari ini?
Yang terjadi hari ini ya,
lihat kamera.
Kita masih coba-coba aja sih.
We still just trying things.
Oh, good. This is actually will help with my next question, because I want to know if you guys are possibly testing new things, maybe setting new strategies, maybe new another goals for tomorrow's for the grand finals.
Sorry, repeat.
I would like to know if they are setting new strategies, new goals for the grand finals.
Okay. Jadi apakah kalian tuh sedang meracik sesuatu yang baru atau strategi-strategi baru buat grand final besok?
Ya kita sekarang nyoba-nyoba aja sih, maksimalin point rush.
Like we said, we just trying out things in point rush to bring it to the grand finals tomorrow.
Good to know. I would love to have some spoilers. Is that possible?
Bisa spill dikit nggak kalau kata anak-anak?
Nggak ada apa-apa, main doang.
Nothing, we're just playing.
Okay, and for us to finish the interview, I would like to know what can we expect from you guys for the rest of the day.
Jadi pertanyaan terakhir, kira-kira kita bisa ngelihat apa nih dari kalian di hari ini?
Ngeliat apa?
Nggak ada sih, kita lihat main kita ya. Semoga kita bisa lebih bagus aja.
Yeah, nothing much, but we'll just keep on playing our game and let's hope we can bring better results.
Okay, thank you so much for the interview. I think they are hiding something, but we will see during the matches. Thanks so much. I wish you guys all the luck for the next matches, and I will go back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Carol. So RRQ fans maybe breathe a little easy knowing that they're just trying some stuff. Okay, so today might not look so good, but you know, with experimentation, you do sometimes have to fail here and there. Do we think RRQ are really saving strats though? Because I'm an RRQ fan and I love to advocate for them, but I'm feeling a little uneasy to be completely honest.
Well, halfway through this day, and if they're trying new strats, it's not working, I guess they have to go back to where they were before. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We still have 3 more matches.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think RRQ they'd still need to play it strong. I mean, they generally score very high. They get booyahs and not really kills. So I think that was not the good time for that.
All right, so along with RRQ, we are going to give our teams a moment to sort of sit back and just sort of think, what do they want to do for their next upcoming matchup? So we are going to go for a quick break. So as always, if you need to do anything, do it now, but make sure you're back for our next matchup because we're going to have to find out who gets the next booyah. We'll see you after this, survivors.
Honor 200 series, the best portrait phone AI empowered. Studio level, AI portrait camera, 3 hardcore portrait modes. Color, vibrant and classic to capture portraits that truly stand out. AI empowered magic portal. Snapdragon 8S Gen 3 AI chipset. 5,200 milliampere per hour silicon carbon battery, 100 watt, Honor Supercharge. This is Honor 200 series.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Esports World Cup Free Fire 2024. We're here in Punt Rush Day, and I'm none other than joined by Luan from Loud. You guys did so good during the group stage, but right now it seems like you're having a rough start. What's going on?
Vocês parecem que começaram muito bem e agora o que está acontecendo?
Mano, acho que algumas coisas não estão encaixando. A gente está testando algumas coisas que acabam não dando certo, mas a gente vai voltar com o máximo aí, tá ligado? E vamos tentar nosso melhor para tentar voltar e tudo, para tentar voltar forte aí.
A few things are not working out. We've tried a few things are not working out, but we are going to do our best to try and go back and make a comeback.
I'm definitely hoping you guys make a comeback because you guys are one of the most exciting teams here in the EWC. With that said, what do you think needs to be the strategy change to keep moving forward? Because now we're halfway past the point of point rush.
O que vocês acham que deve ser a estratégia de vocês agora? Porque a gente está já passado da metade da pontuação.
Mano, nossa estratégia é continuar tentando desempenhar bem. Se der certo, deu. Mas, mano, a gente tá tentando o nosso máximo aí, acabando sendo surpreendidos em algumas coisas, sabe? Mas é isso, mano. É bom que a gente já coleciona mais algumas estratégias para a final e vamos dar nosso melhor até o final e é isso.
We are going to try to carry on playing well. We're being surprised by a few things, but we're going to do our best and we're going to try and do our best.
I'm glad to hear that. And the last one here, you're saying you're being surprised by a couple of things. Is one of them, does it feel like the teams are hunting you down? Like you guys have a big target in your back because you guys were first place at a group stage?
Tu disse que vocês estão sendo surpreendidos por algumas coisas e alguma delas talvez seja vocês estarem sendo caçados?
Caçados é uma palavra muito forte, mas eu acho que sendo estudados, sabe? O pessoal estão estudando nosso estilo de jogo e acabando alterando às vezes, mas a gente vai continuar estudando para tentar reverter isso.
Hunting, I think, is a strong word. I think we've been studied and we're going to carry on trying to do our best.
Well, we gotta wait and see what's gonna happen here. Luckily for them, it is just Point Rush, but tomorrow they gotta step it up. Back to you guys.
Pretty good to get Lav's perspective on the playdate because they are in a pretty shaky position, to be completely honest. I do believe they are bottom 3 at this point of time, and if they're looking to grab those points, bottom 3 is not really where you want to be. Middle of the pack, obviously, in number 1, that's the best place to be if you want to grab those points. But pretty interesting to hear from Loud themselves to say that they're not necessarily being specifically shut down, but rather steadied. I think that's a really great word to describe how things are sort of going for them. Back onto the schedule for today. If you have just tuned in to the Esports World Cup here for the Free Fire division, we have wrapped up 3 games so far, and we have 3 different teams securing booyahs. No consistent winner at this point in time, but things might change here as we have crossed the halfway mark and are preparing to jump into Alpine. Map number 4. Is this possibly the map where we are going to get a second booyah for one of these 3 teams?
I'm not entirely sure if a second team is, but I do know that Loud scores the highest on Alpine. So if anything, they need that they need those points. This is the map for them.
Yeah, I mean, for your question, I mean, this might be a good chance that Buriram United might be able to get back-to-back, if not 3 maps, because Alpine is one of their favorites, followed by Nextera. So we'll have to see. They might have just really slowed down in the first 2 and just brought it on up to the next.
Yep, Alpine is ready, so let's toss it to our stage hosts.
What a day we've had here so far at EWC Free Fire, live from the SDC Arena. Incredible action. Teams have been jumping at the opportunity to gather points in the points rush game, and we hit the halfway mark.
Yes, I've seen so many Karak come back within 3 games, right? And they did a very good job, but today it's just only point rush stage, and they played very, how do I say, freestyle play.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really exciting, it's really fun, I can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. The beginning of it has just been slow, then super fast, and slow again. And that's the beauty of it, watching a Free Fire here at EWC. But you know what? We still have 3 more games to go. The only thing left for our teams to collect points before they get to the finals tomorrow. So let's give it back to our casters and get back to game number 4.
And now game number 4 will start soon. What we are seeing right now in terms of placement, it is quite amazing. We can see the differences between the team, the points are very close. So can each of the team will get gaining more and more points? We will see in this map. Right now from AG Global, they are leading with 51 points. We can see how aggressive they are and how consistent they are getting towards middle of the game. But for Buriram, with that last booyah, they are going towards the 6th rank. So with that, we will see is the same team gonna get the double booyah for tonight or not, with the flight paths are coming from Carousel towards Ocean View, and we have ESports as the first team to drop out from the plane, and followed by RRQ. Right now the plane are divided, the flight paths are divided quite equally, so the chances are each team can go towards their favorite drop spot.
Your favorite drop spot? What's your favorite drop spot?
Oh, in this map, Snowfall.
Snowfall? Oh, you know, speaking of falling down already, teams already going in for those loots. I think we talked a little bit just now, right, on the stage, about how today is such a day of change. And speaking of change, look at his aggression coming through. This aggression is one of those aggressions that have been very, very loved. ESports coming up here with the first blood, and they are happy to fight for this crate.
Oh, and now with base cam, we are going to see a fight between both our Brazilian teams coming from Fluxo and Loud. Right now for Fluxo, they are on the 5th on the ranking and also for Loud on the 10th. Can Fluxo try to gain more elimination points, or are they gonna start retreating from base camp? Right now, for the two, they cannot stay a bit of a time here. If not, then the chances are RRQ, which is in dock, or either PE Sport as well, might come to them. But we will see. Whereas we have TS, Team Solid, just bought a bounty towards the enemy team, which is coming from AG Global.
AG Global. Now, when we talk about Team Solid, we talk about how, in terms of how they play, what's not broken, why fix it, right? We saw that they're still going with that hot dropping style of play, hold that thought, aggression come through. It's going to be Lost 21 that's knocked first. RQ today bringing a fight to so many different teams. But in this situation, Loud, 2 players knocked down already. Fluxo going on the aggressive. A team that's tethering on the brink of knockout yesterday. Today, bringing the heat and the fire through. But it's going to be Loud that comes up on top.
Unfortunately for Fluxo, they were wiped on the 12th place right now. But in another space, we are seeing Netshoe Miners with Falcon. Falcon already gotten 3 of the players. They are looking for another one. Can the last player coming from Netshoe Miners make it?
They just got Booyah just now and they are running for their lives. Nando, 9, possibly the savior for the team. Now as for Falcons, the team, the crowd cheering for them, clearly a home turf buff. And coming into today, while they are as aggressive as before, it wasn't what more that we wanted to see from the last few days. Still heating up probably, we want to see more than that in PE Sports, still going through this fight by high, just quickly weaving through all of these obstacles. They're not done quite yet. This is a very long and prolonged fight, and finally, up by high hits the ground.
Oh, what a nice shot coming from PE Sports. They are being aggressive at 9, and they gotten the second player from RRQ as well. With that, 2 elimination points goes towards them, and they are the highest elimination leaders on the 3rd minute. But in another space, we have Team Solid gotten 1 of the players coming from Evo's Divine. But for Twisted Mind, right now they are staying in this compound in Militia. Next to them is Gaimin Gladiators.
I'm really excited about Gaimin Gladiators. Think about it. They brought the heat to the last day, coming through as a team that's also in the brink of knockout, bringing the heat on the last few rounds. In fact, bringing those multi-frags, aggressive and also pressure. Speaking of pressure, Twisted Minds putting a lot of pressure onto every single team that passes them. But no, I would say no contact play quite yet. They're taking their time with this, and we saw, well, we did see aggression at the beginning of the game. Did you see in the last 3 maps, at least on map number 4 right now, they sort of changed the pace a bit.
Yep, and they are getting much more, try to be much more safer during the early fight. But during the late game, the late stage, then all the teams are going to be fighting with each other. And just now, we are seeing on how Gaimin Gladiators, the neighbors to Twisted Mind. But they try to take a gap, trying to
look at this aggression! It's gonna be Falcons that finds Ray! Not the best situation to be in. EVOS. 1 knocked already, and the kill leader, as I say that, as a term in Malay, masin mulut. Falcons now making dreams come through, and they are the kill leaders. A good thing for them, if you think about it. When you talk about home buff is real, this is what you want. Just now, we were sitting there in the stadium. The crowd was electric, loud. They were cheering loudly for this team. The team that they wants to go on top, the team that has home ground advantage. They want to get as many points as they can for Point Rush to give themselves a leg up tomorrow in the grand finals. But today for EVOS, a team has been quiet now toward the middle of the, I would say, the ladder. Today, coming in second in one of the maps, they are bringing the heat as well to this game.
Yeah, and they are giving so much pressure. But for AG Global, right now they are seeing Loud detecting 1 of the players coming from them. But with that, they are trying to hold the ground. By Drax is trying by stopping. Immediately came in. Both of them are going down. Assisted by Dew as well with the sniper.
Do you see how quick that trade went? Both teams bringing their A game today. Cow17 is here. Just kind of ring around and Rosing, being able to reconvene with his teammates. Left to do a 1-on-1, but it's so good that they've managed to isolate each other. Caramel is there, but you can see that for Lost 21, it's all about being able to have the long range fights, just really clear out the entirety of these stragglers to the side. Yago is still here. Yago is so low. Not for long though. Sypha is just quick on that trade. Drops into the out, and he did also manage to bring Stop back into the game. Lost 21 in trouble, all alone. Can he make something happen? Not quite, as he does bring his teammates back. But for now, Sypha and Stop are the two S's in the team that make things smooth for them.
And from what I see here, AG Global, they are really quick on that reviving their own teammate. Whereas Loud, they were having some troubles. They are losing one by one of their players.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for them, they need to get away to reset their own team. And here, some of the SPC replay, we are seeing Falcon getting Netshoe minus, where they immediately taken 3 of the players.
It feels like a booyah kind of like turns into a target on your back in this situation. Netshoe Miners also managing to get one today. And, you know, I think on day number 1, we talked about the brilliance of Nando9, a player from that team. Often really puts head-to-head with Yago. Yago this time around shines a bit more, but today Nando9 saying, hey, I've come here to play as well. Now, speaking of coming to play, Buriram United today start off rough. And then in that previous one round, managing to go all the way to the top of the ladder with so many eliminations, getting that booyah, and suddenly everything went so well for them.
They really trained for it.
I mean, Wasana was insane, let's be real here. Wasana out here wiping out entire teams on his own while his teammates either get revived or rotates over.
And right now we are seeing one of the players coming from Netshoe Miners have been taken out. And Wasana, like you said, immediately push 3 of the players coming from Netshoe Miners. And we have Raywon is trying to hide behind the boulders there.
He's the key for the team. He's the key for the team. The guy that gets the multi-frags. We want to see another 18-year. Let's talk about Wasana. And speaking of that, they go aggressive. Jump shots all around. Moshi does good one, and so does Wasana. There's going to be answering all around, but Buriram United, they stay very, very healthy. It's going to be Netshoe Miners that's in trouble, running for their lives. General running to the other side of the area, dropping some util forward, rushes up here, Wasana, and he just takes up so much space before the team could even react. They're eliminated at 11th place.
And how aggressive Wasana and Funa is, they immediately go in, try to take one of the players, and immediately taken out the number 2 on the overall ranking right now. So this is quite a worrisome for Netshoe Miners. They need to be careful for the next game. If not, then the chances are they'll be dropping from the leaderboards. But for PE Sport, they are quite close towards Buriram.
Let's talk about PE Sports. Their performance.
Oh, they are performing
They're
well.
performing so well today, but very quiet in the knockout stage. I feel like they've been hiding their cards.
True. They will not immediately engage within a fight. They try to assess the situation first, and then they will go for it. If they know that they can take 1, 2, or the whole squad together.
Yeah, a team that is, when you are playing a poker game, you don't show all your cards in the beginning, you show it all the way till the end. And for now, I think Eve, despite today being a point rush, I have a feeling more cards are about to be shown tomorrow on the grand finals. But for now, before we go into that, we can see that Falcon's already 6 in the bag in terms of eliminations. I think at the beginning of the day, we did try to see them play as aggressively as they did on the knockout stage, but they were punished over and over again. Do you see the change in pace for them from very aggressive going to every single team, and now they're saying maybe there's a time.
Yes, and I think for Falcons, they know what they need to do, the rotation where they are dropping as well. But for them, for Team Falcon, they are going towards Snowfall, where Buriram is there. So the chances are Falcon and Buriram will be fighting off each other, and they might be joining by EVOS as well.
It's going to be very exciting for EVOS, a team. I mean, we talk about aggressive Indonesian teams. We talk about RRQ in the performance of the knockout stage. But today, EVOS says we are just as good as our brother team from Indonesia, if not better. And for Indonesians, we want to rise up to show what we can offer to the Free Fire world. And now it's a lull. It's almost quiet. If you look at the circle right now, no one is engaging with each other, trying to figure out where exactly the circle is pulling. It's going to be Funa here from Buriram United. That's going to be putting the pressure onto the members of Falcons. On fire, finally knocked down here. His teammates not quite there to really assist, but they're not afraid to take up that space. Speaking of taking up space, it's going to be Wasana that's going to try and get the pick off onto On Fire. He's got it up once again. Not quite happening yet, but Wasana, they want to do everything they can, not only to just gatekeep the circle, but also collect as many of these elimination points as they can.
And right now for Buriram, we are seeing Wasana trying to hold that spot. He's trying to rush in, but immediately Peter with the Chargebusters going in, pushing Buriram back to their spots. Can they make it? But for Peter, he needs to be careful. If his team is not covering from behind, then one more is already being taken out by Joanna with that Drogon. But Twisted Mine as well, being eliminated on the 3rd place.
Oh, this is very aggressive. Look at this collapse coming through from both these teams. Falcon in trouble. 2 knocks already on fire out. And so will one more cause Q. He's trying to make the things happen. He's trying to make sure his team stays alive. Can't do that. Gets knocked. And the whole team, quad by Wasana, completely obliterated in one fell swoop. Buriram United is on fire and they keep going.
And they will keep on going towards the zone right now. The zone is shrinking. On the third, we will be seeing more and more going or moving towards Snowfall, where there is no much compound to be taken. But we are seeing PE Sport are getting closer towards Gaimin. And with most eliminations on the 11th minute, we are still having 8 squads here. That's just gotten a headshot with that AWM. But for Gaimin, they have the better spots. Nero already been taken down. Can they make it with the Skylers being traded?
This is just so aggressive PE. They're doing so phenomenal today. On fire, they are on the heat. They play this very safe. They're allowing themselves to be grouped up to each other, but enough to just trade off with one another if they need to be. Separated now, isolated. They're not allowing anyone to get into the circle itself. It's so hard when Gaming Gladiators as well have their own A-game here. 18th year, one of the scariest players around. Nero goes down, and so does the other member of Gaming Gladiators. They jump forward, they knocked one down. And for PE, they're not done quite yet. Despite the man disadvantage, they go for more. But who wants to join? It's gonna be EVOS here, who's joining as a third party. Third party is a strat, and this Indonesian squad says, why, thank you very much for all these elimination points. PE Esports eliminated, and now it's all about finding the last few members of Gaming Gladiators. They have the high ground advantage. Other teams are so attracted to the side of Gunfire, and they keep going.
And right now, with that bomb, automatically tried to assist his own teammate by Lim. But 3 of the players coming from EVOS. We have Ray with that headshot as well. They are being aimed by AG Global on another spot. And with that, Lim, unfortunately for him, he accidentally killed himself. And with that, given the elimination points to Ray coming from EVOS.
So unfortunate, and this fight still going. Razor knocked down already. RRQ, they can't hold up. All alone. And it's such a different style of aggression from Buriram United, coming from the bottom in the beginning of the day, and now they are one of the top here right now. So hot, so aggressive, and AG finds themselves toe-to-toe with Loud. Wasana and the other members of Buriram United put that aside, because for Loud, this is the moment where they want to show that the Brazilians can shine. It's all about silence, it's all about getting as much info they can. They're trying to make sure that in terms of their positioning, everything goes according to plan.
But from what I'm seeing, AG Global, they are trying to take a step back. They are moving towards the Arsenal. Maybe they want to see if there is an Indonesian team, which is EVOS, are trying to come towards them, try to backstabbing them. But we have Buriram as well. We'll try to hold towards coming EVOS Esports there.
Oh, EVOS Esports. Despite the 2-man disadvantage, we've seen them do a magic, and this is what we want to see. But look at how many players are running and gunning toward that Arsenal. And in this situation, AG, they find themselves just completely cornered like rats inside of the Arsenal itself. We've seen bad news come from this, but can AG come up on top is the question. They buy time, they buy space, all those blue walls set up, immediately broken. Yu is on the outside. We've seen him get 2, 3 frags, but he wants to move out of the way. He tries to put in damage, but a team as aggressive as Loud, also separated individually. Brilliant goes down. Caramel finds one, and he immediately lobbies one. Drax quick on that trade, and so does Yago. Jonah is here to third party, and fourth place will be the one given to Loud.
Loud, they were on the 4th place, and now Buriram are coming in, trying to disturb AG Global. They will not give them a chance to rest or reset themselves. But with this Arsenal, they can create a compound, a defensive structure that they can use. But for EVOS, currently 2 of the players have been taken out. Ray and MGod. Will they join the fights? But from what I'm seeing, Buriram is going towards them. And with the Tatsuya as well has been used by Joanna, the chances are EVOS will be the one put on the chopping table.
Might be that. They have a two-man disadvantage. They don't have a lot of space to work with. The only cover they have is that rock. Perhaps some blue walls to work with. And we know that in terms of Wasana as a rusher, he's aggressive. He takes up so much space. And he's just so quick, individually brilliant. A lot of firepower all on his own. This man is a one-man army. And he has his eyes onto the members of AG. Moves out of the way. The glue melter gonna force him out of that area. And that's fine by them. They just take the time, just waiting for the right opportune moment. And AG says, okay, it's time for us to pump the brakes. Because just now, we won because we are playing the third party. Perhaps now will be the time for us to do the same.
Yes, and what we are seeing right now, they are just lying down. They want to know where are the last zone going to shrink. Because we are at the last, and of course the damage will be significant towards the player, and with a lot of bomb are being thrown by AG. Going toward EVOS. EVOS with two of the players. Can they get ready? Almost. But the engagement is not going through by AG Global. They know Buriram will sooner or later will join towards them. They are still waiting. They know if they start it first, Buriram will come as a third party. But if Buriram going towards EVOS, then AG Global are waiting to get that opportunity. Right now, who have the patience or the disciplines to wait for the other team?
It's all about just waiting who does the first contact first.
Oh.
And the situation is going to be Abe got this knocked, and suddenly AG just completely collapses onto that. And they secure the points too. This is massive for them, but look how quickly the collapse happens. Wasana already good for 2. Jonah as well joins in the fray, and suddenly every single member of AG just knocked down like dominoes. Not the best situation for them to be in. And Buriram United, they're smiling. We have seen miracles happen, but could this be the time that miracles can happen for this team? Looks like it's not going to be that, because Buriram United once again, another booyah in the bag. And this team from bottom going to the top, they're hot, they're slow at starting, but great at ending the day. But another 2 maps to go. Let's see how they do this.
Yeah, they were great coming from Buriram. They really took their time. They knew on how to engage in that fight. AG Global started the fight with EVOS and immediately taken 2 of the players, making EVOS on the 3rd place. But for AG Global, since they started it first,
right,
Buriram ended it.
I think it's all about just perspective in this situation. It felt like everyone started first. Everyone was just throwing so many utilities, abilities onto every single corner. It was about how unlucky they were. Because you have to understand, the mindset for most of these teams is one player knocked, we just completely collapse. And I think for AG, they're thinking, okay, if they collapse, that's fine. We just quickly get these 2 points and just rush straight onto Buriram United. But Buriram United, they're just waiting for that first contact play. And that is the most important thing to talk about. Regardless, for Buriram United, I'm honestly wondering, there was a lot of questions about them this morning. What happened to them? What is going on? And then suddenly bringing it back and a blink of an eye. What do you think happened in their mindset shift?
I think they're gonna go for the most point for this game. For the point right.
For every single... Wait, hang on. So if you say Buriram United is gonna get the most here, if they lose and not get the most, does it mean you are the jinxer?
I hope not. I hope not.
You hope not?
Because just then,
yeah,
on the 3rd game, they were on the 12th place.
Yes.
And now they got back-to-back booyah.
Right.
They are now number 2. I think so, with my calculation in my head.
Yeah.
So the chances are they might be on the top 3. Most probably. We'll see how our analysts are gonna table out the leaderboard soon.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that. I mean, we have the brains of Neptune as well as everyone else. But for now, here are the highlights happening. And I think what's really important about talking about this team, it was pretty much already recapped just now in our recap before game number 3, right? About how the change has been for most of these teams. The Brazilian teams are a little bit more aggressive than usual, kind of following the tempo of the Thai teams. We have the teams that are playing, everyone is playing so safely yet so aggressive at the same time. It's really hard to pinpoint what exactly is their game point. But for that, let's have a go at
on the main stage here with our victors, 2 booyahs in a row. It's Buriram United. Esports, of course, are joined by Wasana from the squad. Now, 2 wins in a row. That really is a big recovery after the first 2 games. How do you feel so far?
2 วินรวดที่ได้มาตอนนี้ก็คือฟื้นตัวขึ้นมาได้แล้วรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับก็รู้สึกว่ามีความมั่นใจในการเล่นมากขึ้นครับแล้วก็เพิ่มแบบความเข้าใจกันในทีมครับ The 2 wins give us confidence and giving us understanding on how should we play today.
I mean, at the end, there were no Brazilian teams to be found. Do you think now it's SEA in control?
ก็คือตอนเนี้ยไม่มีทีมบราซิลเหลือเลยในช่วงท้ายๆแล้วอะคิดว่าตอนเนี้ยโซน4ของเรากำลังแบบคุมเกมอยู่หรือเปล่าครับ
ผมว่าก็น่าจะแบบนั้นแหละครับ
It seems like that
Very much so. There it is, SEA. But there's 2 more games left. Where do you think you will place at the end of the day?
เหลืออีก2เกมครับคิดว่าจากนี้จะเล่นยังไงต่อดีครับ
ก็เล่นเรื่อยๆครับจะเอาบูย่ามาเรื่อยๆครับ
We'll get all the booyahs
There we go. They're looking for it. There it is. Buridam United Esports, 2 wins in a row. We'll see. Thank you very much, Wasana. Congratulations. Thank you for a wonderful translator. Now on for our Arabic viewers. المشاهدين العرب.
Buriram are back, baby. If you're a fan of Buriram, I think this is when you say, they're fine. They're gonna be okay. They're not flunking. 2 back-to-back booyahs.
Yeah.
This is very concerning for the other competitors because if you're looking for points and Buriram are awake, it's going to be an uphill battle. But let's break down what really happened in that matchup because it wasn't just a case of Buriram going ham. Sure, they were getting a lot of eliminations, but we did have a couple of other teams really capitalize on Alpine. A couple to mention. Firstly, Loud. They got rid of Fluxo. 12th place. This was quite a shocking elimination, especially with the fact that we thought Fluxo was actually going to wake up today. What kind of happened in that initial fight? Because we really thought this was the time for Fluxo to shine.
Maybe it's a little bit too cold at this stage, so they decided to sleep back again. But no, jokes
The map
aside,
is a little bit cold.
jokes aside, I mean, there's a few teams really that's trying the first few maps as a testing ground, as a warm-up. Like Wasana just mentioned, we are treating the first few maps to study our opponents, to check how they would fare on probably different tactics, and then if they decide to go back and grab that booyah, then they do so.
Yeah, that was also mentioned by RRQ's interview before, is that they are trying out new stuff at the same time. And if we were to look at the Buriram as well, based on the interview of Wasana, you know what they say in my village? It doesn't matter how much you speak, it matters how much you put on the table. And this is Buriram United putting on the table. I guess they needed a little bit of a restart because they had a break yesterday, and if you remember during day number 1, they had a pretty shaky start as well during the first half of the day. But once they found their rhythm, they just went all the way. So I guess now Buriram is back on the table.
So I guess it's time for people to start hot dropping Buriram again. That sounds like it might end up being the plan. But we do have a couple teams that could potentially do that, right? Because we have had some really aggressive teams step up. ESports. This team came out of nowhere and they are popping heads. And consistently today as well, we haven't seen ESports end up in the bottom of the bracket. They've been pretty consistently hiding towards the middle of that pack. Is this a team that we're actually going to have to start looking out for? Because, yeah, maybe they don't get a booyah. Although, to be fair, I do think they are due for a booyah very, very soon. But I actually think teams, are they underestimating ESports?
It is possible that they are underestimating ESports. If you remember their placement from the Southeast Asia FFWS, they were second. So, and that's one thing really that can be thrown into the table when we talk about ESports. But speaking of table, here's a table for a match ranking.
Match ranking's got to grab those points, and I think Buriram fans are going to want to try and do a little bit of math here to figure out where are they on the overall scoreboard, because basically locking in 29 points here. This is going to shoot them all the way up on that leaderboard, because up until this point, I think this is the most points we've actually had in the whole of today.
Yeah,
29?
I mean, it is. And with this numbers, this will bring them probably to second place. But let's head over to the MVP, none other than Funo once again.
Second time for this man to be getting MVP. I mean, he deserves it. Amazing performance coming out from Funa. 4 eliminations, 3,376 damage, 1,266 healing. Although I think we kind of have to give Wasana a shout out as well. He, like, as much as we like to praise single players on teams, I feel like Wasana is such a perfect complement to all of his teammates, because if someone sets up, he's always there to finish the job.
Yeah, I mean, he's the MVP of FFWS Southeast Asia. And if you kind of think about it as well, for Buriram, like what you said, it's not only about Puna, but the entire team works.
The entire team works, and the entire team is now in second place. 1 spot behind AG Global, and they love to swipe that away. They're not that far behind, boys. So, Buriram looking to take that first place away from AG Global. But AG Global have played fantastic today as well. They have been extremely consistent all throughout today. No bottom finishes, high eliminations. So if you're AG Global and you want to stay in that first place, what are we expecting from this team moving into Nextera? Because we are jumping into Game 5 very soon. They've been super aggressive. Are they going to maybe be even more aggressive?
Well, it is possible that they can do that, or they can just play their usual strength. Keep the distance, shoot them afar. They do have Du as a sniper, and then the rest of the team might be able to go in for a finisher. But fun fact for those who saw the overall, top 5 has maintained their 33% of top 3. So meaning to say, out of the 4 matches that we've finished, they've already taken 3 every of the 3 on the top 3 spots. So that's the consistency that we're looking for. That's the consistency that we might see once again.
Let's break it down for this map as well. Nextera, top teams to look out for from past performances.
Well, for Nextera, there are a few teams like Buriram United, Twisted Mind, as well as Loud, Teal Falcons. Well, I mean, I think this is where it gets exciting because it comes closer towards the end of the day, where everyone is just trying to catch up on the points.
Any final words, Cloud, before we jump into game number 5?
Don't forget about AG and EVOS.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. We're going to jump into game number 5 right before we head into that random map, but throwing it over to Ovi and Tash. Have a fun time.
We are definitely going to be having fun for this one as we see a back-to-back booyah already by Buriram United. A comeback that was phenomenally insane. Aggression, third parties. What more is a recipe to fun?
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing here, the meta right now, they are going into third party every time they will be on the end zone.
It's like a Mexican standoff, right?
Yeah.
3 teams, they're like holding their guns to each other like, I won't shoot if you shoot. I'm waiting for you to shoot first. Are you going to shoot first or is it going to be me?
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, so coming into Nextera. Now, the Descat really shared with us teams that are to look out for on this map. Which is the team do you think is to look out for on this map?
For me, Buriram. They
Buriram
already got back-to-back booyah.
Yeah.
And now we are moving towards the map that they have gotten the booyah on the
Right.
first day.
We also have seen booyahs come through from, I believe, Loud as well. So that's going to be really exciting. Fluxo. So this is going to be very, very exciting coming through. And let's see the flight path here.
Yeah, coming from Deka Square towards Intellect Center, we are seeing EVOS are taking to the left. The split from the flight path are quite equally. And from what I'm seeing, Intellect Center, we'll see Fluxo with a Gaimin Gladiators. Will be taking the compound.
Doesn't it feel like deja vu? I feel like we've casted this before, where 2 teams are in the Intellect Center, they are fighting each other, and then suddenly we have a look, it's going to be Falcons just climbing through, but that hasn't happened yet, because right now, Fluxo immediately going to go on the aggressive, and I'm not surprised that this is happening. Both teams are very aggressive, both teams very adept in firepower. What do you think will be the outcome? Because that dodge by Gio, massive, keeps him alive a little bit more. So does his teammates, and I love the protocol they have. 2 players moving up here, aggression coming up forward. The glue wall does buy some time, denies a bit of damage, and Bunsin will be the one with the opener, and so does 18 Deer to go for that trade. Bunsin out already, they're not stopping. 1 player down, it doesn't mean that the fight's gonna be stopping quite yet. It's just about holding, and Gaming Gladiator take the kill lead.
And it's quite dangerous coming from Fluxo. You are immediately been taken out. Gaming Gladiators, they are having an advantage here with that equipment as well. And this will make Fluxo immediately need to retreat themselves coming from Intellect Center. But they are being covered. We have Falcons in the Twin Bridge. From Topia, we have Loud. On Museum, we have Buriram. So the chances are for Fluxo, either they try to run away towards the edge of the map or not.
This aggression coming through is going to be two very, very aggressive teams on the line. And look how strong Buriram United is riding off that high from the previous games. They got 2 eliminations already, and it's going to be Loud that is their next victim. We talked about how Buriram United not only riding off that momentum, back-to-back booyahs, but it seems like from what we saw at the beginning of the day was just more of an icebreaker. If anything, they're looking for last 2 members of Loud. They're not stopping. Wasana doing Wasana things, very aggressive, taking up space, just trying his best to just take as much of these fights as possible. Spots out 2, drops that glue wall, and then moves out of the way. Love this quick reaction.
Unfortunately for Fluke, so they have been taken on the 12th place.
Wait, this is massive.
Wasana.
Well, Wasana finds 1. Not enough to trade. Oh, would have been massive if he was able to isolate that. Not happening quite yet, but his teammates are around. They're hovering, looking for the final 2 members of Loud, like vultures in the line. UAV deployed as well, just to give them a bit of an idea if they're still hanging around, and they do. Funa, not afraid to show himself out here. They try to break the glue wall as well. Nothing more, nothing less. All about getting that reset around before they go for the engagement for round number 2.
Right, and for Buriram, we are seeing they are trying to fall back after they are losing Wasana, but Wasana have been revived again, so they need a quick reset from the team. But coming from Loud, they were good. They were left with 2 of the players, immediately revived 2 again, and they know they got the backup. So they got Wasana, and now Funa left alone on the 2nd floor. But unfortunately for Funa, Yago with that SKS immediately taking him out.
It's Yago, one of the sharpest players we've seen. But then again, we also see Asana, who's just so quick on that. It's just a game of trades in this situation. I get your friend, you get my friend. With a double swing, a buddy system. When you are with a team that's so individually talented, each one bringing firepower on their own, 18 year, a player that's been able to not only 1v3 once, but twice in fact, is a very terrifying predicament. How do you keep yourself alive? How do you stop yourself from being isolated? Glue melters thrown around just to buy a little bit more space, deny him from being able to push up forward, rushing up upstairs, one waiting at the downside, finds nothing. Putete finds no one quite yet, and it's just so easy for each player to say, okay, we see the aggression come through, let's just reconvene with our teammates, go a little bit aggressive, play together. Because in these situations, when you are isolated, the biggest problem right now is your teammates not only having to spend to bring you back in the game, but also resources that are going to be wasted.
Yes, I do agree with that. And for Gaime, what I love about them right now, they know that Twisted Mind are pushing aggressively.
Right.
They immediately went out the window, moved to the next compound, and taking their time to see where is the place that they can move on.
Yeah, but for now, it's going to be due. Finds one already. They're quick. Hongan back in the game, but for Twisted Minds, they're in trouble. Nameless knocked already. You can see Peter slowly but surely making his way forward. And he's a player that loves to take up space, makes either a lot of damage or a lot of distractions. It doesn't really matter in this situation. Diamond knocked down already. They're so quick on that trade. Portal Go is here, moves out of the way. And they're realizing that if they don't move now, they're going to be punished. And they do. One by one, the members of Twisted Mind will be taken out, but not enough to completely take them out of the game.
Oh, for Twisted Mind, almost. But coming from Buriram as well, they already taken one of the players coming from RRQ. They are getting closer and closer towards...
Wait, this angle is disgusting! Look how Funa played that! Kawan cannot run, did not spot him out. In fact, Moshi comes out of this fight with a triple kill.
Oh, that was an awesome fight coming from Buriram as well with 7 elimination points. We are on the 6 minutes, but we are seeing more and more aggressive gameplay coming from all the teams. With right now, Buriram are going in towards Farmtopia. We are seeing 3 of the players are getting ready for that ambush. Funa with Scar chip level 2.
Yeah.
As a long-range weapon, it's quite... I'll see that he'll try to spam the bullets toward the enemy line.
Yeah, that pressure will be...
Yeah, the pressure.
Yeah, I love that. But the positioning by Buriram United here is what I want to highlight. They have a 2-2 formation come up forward, which means that if it's on the top side, they know anyone's pushing toward them. If it's going for the trade, they're able to do that. The teammates on the bottom ground goes down. They can go for the revive if they want to. They keep each other safe, but going aggressive. And speaking of aggressive, these 2 teams are doing just that. PE Esports, a team that's been shining, in my opinion. Bit quiet to the knockout stage, but they bring more to the table. AG, Saifa, out already, but it's all about just buying the right time. Waiting right outside the door here. Perhaps Death is knocking, not quite dead. LBT tries to find him in the end, finds him. Denies a bit more damage with that glue wall. Repositions himself, moves back inside, weaving in and out. What movement he has is phenomenal. His teammate is here to go for a trade. CQC not being able to do anything about that. LBT catches Carabel off guard and straight to the lobby while his teammates bring him back in after this.
And LBT is the elimination leader for the player. Coming from 43 players, 44 just now.
Yeah.
He is the highest elimination that have gotten for the team. And right now, from what I'm seeing, the zone is shrinking. We are moving towards the third zone, which is moving towards Plazaria. We have 3 teams inside the zone already. We have Gaimin getting closer, but in front of him is Buriram. Gaimin, I think they're gonna go towards to Turbine to avoid all those chaotic movement coming from the other teams. Whereas AG Global, they need to be careful. And from the elimination feed, Loud just gotten one of the players coming from Twisted Mind.
You know what's really interesting? Thinking about how Buriram United came out previously, all the way to this tournament, just running away from Team Solid, trying to figure out a way to reposition, come up alive. And now, because they're just understanding how much firepower they can bring, understanding how they can play as a team, and understanding that it's okay is in the line as well of fire for Buriram United. Up by high, had no chance to reposition and move. He thought he could buy some time, can't do quite that. 1,400 gold coins in the bag. Buriram United, the whole map is their oyster.
Knowing that this map is owned by them. And what we are seeing is Uzi just being knocked down by Nero with the Bison. But he'll try to loot again, coming from the enemy, and they are using the monster truck. Are we going to see monster?
The AG bring up the A game very aggressive today, starting off aggressively. But for now, Twisted Minds moves out of the way. Nameless and Exposy is out, and so does for the Tay. Looking so terrible for them. Ju alone goes for that revive onto Cypher.
Oh, almost.
You nearly get rolled.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Duke was on point during that time. He almost getting wiped out. But then they are still alive with 3 of the players, and now we are moving towards Buriram. They are going to fight with Gaimin Gladiators.
For this Arsenal, no doubt.
Been noticed, and Wasana with a quick action with 2 of the glues has been open. He knew that his HP is below 100. He need to reset himself, but immediately going in after that 2 inhaler has been used.
They're still going on here. Wasana, one of the players that's not only quick on that reposition, quick with that firepower. Look at how much space he takes so quickly. It's a 2v1 situation, and he's okay with that. His teammate's finally here, though. Oliver on the other side, watching to make sure that no one is third-partying. It's a lot of trust given onto him. Wasana, truly one of the most impressive players I've seen so far from this team. Now, PE Esports, a team that we have table today. Bit more quiet to the knockout stage, but today they say, okay, it's our A game, let's go a little bit more aggressive. They don't take unnecessary fights. They know when to go aggressive and when to hold that. In this situation for AEG, it seems like fight after fight. Caramel taking in a lot of damage. It's going to be Team Solid on the top side here. Going to be very dangerous for them. And Team Solid, one of the teams I would say, has been ruining so many teams' chances that they kind of go through that rotations.
And with 11 minutes, we are at 11 squad. The zone are moving towards Plazaria. It's getting tighter and tighter. And the chances are we are seeing Buriram will be fighting with Loud as well. And Twisted Mind will caught in the middle. On the right side here from the screen. But on the left we have Team Solid. Have a chances to hold on to gatekeep AG Global from coming in. ESports with 6 elimination points. They are exchanging RGS. But for RRQ as well, they are not having a clear shot right there. But they went out. But unfortunately for Twisted Mind, they have been taken out on the 11th place.
Look at this fight, quite prolonged between Falcons and PE Esports. Despite that, no one is really knocked out already. In this situation here, we move our sights onto Stop all alone. Running for his life, can't do more than that. It's a terrible for them for that. Eva's a bit more quiet, 1 in limbs, and they're okay with it. And this time around, another team joins this prolonged fight. It is going to be NMG, a team that's managed to get Booyah, showing us that they are also one of the most, I would say, more feared teams in this stage. This situation, round 7 already knocked already, and he's okay with that, General. Try to scout around to try and see if anyone is hiding on the outer side. Finds no one, just about to wait. If anyone jumps out of that window, he's just going to quickly demolish them if he can. Prox left, just quickly bleed out to death. And in this situation, the Giants of Cloud falling one by one. Lost 21 all alone. Needs to survive, but they're not done. Buram United finds the final one. Can't do more than that. Funa knocked out, but the long range pickups is going to be happening. And Loud gets completely knocked out of this one.
Great gameplay coming from Buriram. Immediately assisted their own teammate, and now Team Solid, they are trying to rush us in towards our Falcon, which are trying to hold this compound, but we have seeing Trap. They are getting ready, but Peter with that Drogon immediately taking him out, and they are going out. Trap, they are trying to stay alive with that chrono has been broken. 2 of the blue wall as well, and immediately taken one of the players again, and now Nick is left alone. Can he make it? Can Team Solid make it? But unfortunately, 2 of the players again being taken out by Falcon.
Nyx is down already, a quad kill for Peter. Can't do more. Falcons this time around. Perhaps the chance in the arena must be Loud right now. Home buff advantage, 1 knock already. But Wasana is the one that's on a killing spree. Look at how he's just approaching the other members of EVOS. EVOS wants to fight back, but the rush from Wasana is a bit much. He's so quick to weave back down, forth and center with so much support from his teammates. The entirety of this circle is theirs. And this situation, they're just walking one by one up and around the entirety of the eastern side, completely in Buram United's control. A killing spree from Moshi as well in this situation. And PE Esports last two waiting. It's all about finding the last person alive. And RRQ trapped in a little corner. Has to be careful. Not sure where Falcons is going to be jumping through. They find out. They see Nero. Nero just buy some time with the glue wall. Can't do more than that. They're together, but because the glue wall is slowly one by one dropping down, they're just gonna be completely swarmed by the other members of RRQ. EVOS is out already, and now we're down to the last few teams.
And with the 3 teams remaining, we have Buriram, Falcon, and RRQ. Only Falcon with 3 of the players on fire has been knocked down by Funa with that AWM. Can he revive himself? He's quite safe behind that wall there.
Oh! He can't do any more than that! Falcon's pressured from so many different angles. Can't even move, can't revive, can't reposition. And Buram United with 22! I have never seen this aggression come from this team. And they bring their A-game. Eliminated at 3rd place. It's gonna be Falcons. RRQ is here. And so is our representative from Thai, Buram United. Southeast Asia looks strong in this one. And they rush forward. Wasana finds Mal. Completely obliterates him. And he wants more blood calling. He smells it like a shark in infested waters. Dude tries his best to put in damage, and so does Abai High. Wasana, he's just so quick on that reposition. It's so hard to catch him. He's almost like an eel in infested waters. You catch him, and he moves out of the way. Puts in the damage. His teammate goes down. Abai High does find Funa in the end. But Wasana is the one just pick up one by one. Jonah as well. What can you do when a team just completely swarms you from so many different areas? One more player left. He tries to make it happen. Abai High weaves in and out, but he can't isolate. And that will be the end of that. A complete wipeout. And it's going to be a complete booyah! 3 in a row for Buriram United!
3 booyah goes to Buriram! What a hell of a gameplay coming from them! With how they managed to maintain that position, but a highlight towards RRQ as well on how they can maintain that fight for 1.5 minutes right there.
Can see that for Buram United, it's almost like 4D chess if you think about it. Their positioning, allowing Wasana to be the main distraction, weaving in and out, catching everyone off guard, shotguns to the face, knocking one out, repositions. He doesn't have to worry too much about confirming those kills. Yesterday, during an interview, Wasana's face completely stoic. Today, all smiles. This is what we call confidence.
Yes, confidence indeed. They know what can they bring to the towards the match right then. And right now for Buriram, the way they play, they really showed their true colors. During the knockout stage, we are seeing them Maybe they want to hold their cards. They don't want to go all out aggressive because they know they need to be on the 12th place. But today is the most important day. They need to be number 1.
Yes.
To get the most point for tomorrow.
Gives them a bit of breathing room, gives them a bit of wriggle room as well. That advantage is just so precious. When you talk about them, we had an interview with them on day number 1 about what they were expecting from Team Solid, a team that had gate kept them from SPS. They couldn't do anything against them, led to their downfall. But in this situation, it wasn't that. They're so confident, they feel good. They said to us, hey, we have learned from Team Solid, we've seen and understood how they play, and we can sort of readjust and readapt to their style. But, and they deliver.
Yeah, they deliver. And as we can see, Moshi really plays a role for his team with that 8 elimination points, and Wasana immediately taking him out.
So now let's just head on over to the panelists. I want to hear what they have to say about Buriram United.
Our late bloomers today have got to be crying because if they didn't get their points earlier today, Buriram is basically going to hog it from this point on. So many eliminations. I mean, they could share, but why should you share when you should be starting tomorrow with those extra points? Guys, who can stop Buriram? Because at this point, after seeing that game, 3 back-to-back Booyahs, 22 eliminations. I don't think anyone can stop this team.
I would like to say it takes a Thai team to take down another Thai team, but at this point,
no, you need an entire village to get rid of Buriram.
Yeah, they need a whole village ganking onto Buriram. But if you look at the numbers here, it is 27 eliminations by Buriram. And 27 is the magical number now. This is the most amount of eliminations by a team in a single round.
Not just that though, incredibly top heavy with these eliminations as well. Buriram with the 27, Team Falcons with the 12. As for everyone else, they were basically left picking up the scraps. And if you're looking for those points, you do not want a top heavy round because that means less points for you to pick up.
I mean, at this point, it's a bit of a struggle, right? All the teams are literally just
it's a very big
trying to scavenge any sort of scraps that they can get because it's so difficult. BRU is taking everything.
Yeah, if you kind of look at the highlights as well, right? Like Moshi on top of this rooftop with the long-range snipes, and then you got the close quarters combat. You put Funa in, you put people like Wasana who can rush in onto other teams, and they are very good with using utilities at the same time. I mean, this is a complete squad just based on this round. This is Buriram bulldozing other teams.
Yeah, I want to say one thing though. I think just BRU is just being greedy at this point. You know, they're just a bunch of like bad people.
True. I think at this point, they are probably in a really safe position to just take first. I don't think it's possible for another team to make that catch-up happen. Unless the stars align, Buriram get 0 this next round, and whoever gets these next round of points, you're going to need 30, 40 points to close that gap. An insane number of points. But maybe first place is out of reach for a lot of these teams. Second, third, definitely doable, but it's a random map. I think that's what makes it so difficult for these teams to swallow. You don't even know if you're going to get a favorable map choice.
Yeah, I mean, talking about teams who could potentially still overtake a Buriram. Well, assuming that Buriram goes out with 0 points, not jinxing them, but just saying in theory, well, teams like AG technically could still do it. I'm not sure about EVOS, though we need to look at the overall numbers later on, but AG kind of still has a chance to take that number 1 spot away.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see, but this is the MVP. They had 8 eliminations. Of course, it's going to be Moshi, always at the top, always in the fights, right? He's constantly getting all the knocks. He's getting all the kills. He's doing everything that you could ask for.
And at least Buriram can share amongst themselves, right? Don't let Funa take all of the MVP awards. Gotta give some to your teammates, you know? Gotta praise them a little bit if you can. But for Buriram, I think that at this point, they're probably thinking, okay, guys, out of all the maps, we have taken Booyahs on 3 different maps today. If we get any repeats, that's going to be a good day for Buriram. But for the other teams, you're going to have to think, what's the next step, right? Because just like us, the teams don't know what the map is until we're ready to start hitting the basically, if you're dropping in, that's it, okay? No one knows up until it's time to play that map. So is it time to gang up on Buriram? Because that really feels like the only plan viable for these teams.
I mean, that is probably the only way, right? If you look at it, If not, it's going to be Buriram that's the one ganking up onto the other teams by playing a third party. But hey, look who has arrived.
We have a guest on stage. I wonder if this is a sign.
I mean,
technically it's a cat though. Just saying.
Yeah, it's a cat. I'm okay, I think. I'm gonna be a little bit careful. Maybe I'll step over just a bit.
I care for you.
But I think
I
it's still a BRU fan at the end of the day.
It's okay. Cloud's a cat man.
Yeah.
Understand.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the overall standings just to see where everyone is right before we hit that final map today. So obviously Buriram at the top with 101 points, but AG Global 76 points. They've got to hit jackpot for this final map if they want to try and swipe that first place away.
I mean, it's going to be very difficult, but I just want to put a little bit of context in terms of how monstrous this score is by Buriram, right? 101 points. If we're talking about the tiebreaker yesterday, right, between Our Glory Gaming and Fluxo, right? They had 102 points over 12 games, right? So they've done this in 5 games. How monstrous is that?
Absolutely. But if you think about Fluxo as well, they're currently at the second last place. And if you end the day at the second last place, I mean, you don't really get much out of today. So again, it's like the opposite story, right? Between Buriram and also Fluxo, the way you start and the way you end, it's like the total opposite.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And I mean, they get 0 points, right, going into this one. You don't want to be, I think going into this one, again, how many points you want for that that head start is that you want to be in, first through 10th place. 10th is that cutoff. And so you got to get some sort of points going to the grand finals tomorrow.
Yeah. Now, as we get ready to jump into our final game of the day, we're going to have to say goodbye to Sensei Tig. He's going to help us out on the main stage. You can get that map going. So thank you, Sensei. We'll see you in a second. But for us, okay, let's head on over to the schedule. So you guys know what has happened today for Point Rush Day, because we are about to jump into our final map, and it's Nextera! Oh boy, this is some bad news, bad for a few teams, because Buriram, they just picked up a booyah on Nextera, and they did it in such a flashy fashion. If we don't see some teams ganging up on Buriram, I think this team is going to get their final booyah.
I can imagine the conversation, right? Imagine if like the team say that, hey, we want to gang out of the Buriram, and they go like, oh, okay, sure. Why don't you go first? No, you go first. No, you go first, because who's going to start it off?
Okay, the alternate plan, okay. We say gang up Buriram, but what if it's the opposite? You say, okay, this is where Buriram drops. We drop on the opposite side of the map, so they don't chase after us.
I mean, at this point, it's a pretty good strategy, to be honest. I think you avoid this beast. You try to do what you can, or you look to maybe third party, fourth party, whatever you can do to not take them head on. They're very good with confrontations and those team fights, and they just like literally take over the games.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, at this point, instead of you wanting to try to gank up Buriram at the same time, maybe you be the one that, okay, you tell people to gank up, but you stay away. It's like, haha, gotcha. Just saying.
I mean,
reverse psychology is a thing, though.
I wish the teams could talk in game, but that is not a feature, unfortunately. But we'll see if the teams have that idea in mind, or what idea they have in mind to begin with. But first, we're going to pass it over to our casters as we get ready for our final game of the day. Who's going to grab this final booyah?
Who will get this final booyah? We had 3 in a row from Buriram United. We've seen a target on Buriram United's back.
Yep.
And in this situation, Buriram United is probably saying, bring it on, homies.
And what's amazing about Buriram, between 3 games, immediately they have taken #1 just like that.
How are they doing this? We talk a lot, me and you, we talk a lot about mindset shift. We talk a lot about confidence.
Yep.
But my question is, what did Buriram United have before match number 3?
I also know answer to that.
I need them to tell me so that I too could become a back-to-back booyah giver.
But then, yeah, we are going to see the last game here.
Right.
Nextera. Just now, they have been playing it, and we saw how Buriram immediately taking the advantage, making sure that the pressure is being done by the enemy team.
Right.
But now, can they maintain it? Or the chances are AG Global, the closest towards them, gonna take over #1 spot.
That'll be really interesting because when we talk about Buriram United, they have been really not just aggressive, but they are, like what the panel said, they are greedy. They're going around collecting as many eliminations as they can. They're going around just completely obliterating teams. And they're okay with letting one player go away because they're like, that's fine, bring your teammates back in. We're not afraid. In fact, for us, that's considered a point farm. They got booyahs as well. And that's what makes them so terrifying.
Yes.
They're very patient.
Yep.
They have really good trigger discipline. They don't, I don't know how it is, but when you talk about their communications, we have Wasara taking up space. In the background, we have Jonah and Funa as well, just doing those long-range pickoffs and cleanups.
Yep, I
don't know
agree with
where to look at them. Like, who do we look at? Do we look at Wasana or do we look at Funa?
We'll see in this match on how they played, but from here we are seeing the drop coming from each of the teams. They are going right now. Intellect Center, Fluxo and Gaimin again. They'll be hot dropping each other, trying to fight for this drop spot. And Fluxo gaining the first eliminations, making Gaimin Gladiators have to back away. If not, then the chances are they need to fight 4 of the players coming from Fluxo.
It's a really interesting situation because I thought to myself, okay, this fight has happened at Intellect Center. Perhaps a change would be needed here because if I remember correctly, Fluxo and Gaming Gladiator, both of them came up with heavy losses. It's Gaming Gladiator that came up on top at the very, very end. Look at how Coachil has really positioned himself so far away. And this is a good thing. Make sure no one's rotating over. Try and get as much information as possible. And these long-range fights are massive because if, say, your teammates are taking up space and fighting with them, he can put in those long-range damage.
I do agree. For Coachil, he need to make sure that there are no players that are trying to run away coming from Intellect Center. But what I'm seeing here for Fluxo, they are immediately using Tatasuya, going to rush in, but Raz has been taken out. And Liam trying to assist by 2v1. Can he make it? But unfortunately, with that SMG as well. AUG done by India, immediately assisted and taken one of the players coming from Fluxo as well.
It's never been an all-in fight. It's all about those one-point pickoffs if they can. 18 here is the one that we have our eyes on. I think every single team is doing that. Now, speaking of fights, it's going to be RRQ. Just finding one Tattoo 13 Team Solid all alone, and they're going to be happy to take him out of here. These early fights, a very interesting one. I thought it was going to be a less aggressive early fight for this one, given it's the last match of the point rush. Doesn't seem to be the case here with Fluxo leading the charge in terms of eliminations. 3, in fact, as they move into this fight again. Waksa is back, brings back Nyx as well, and is going to boots it all alone. Catches one player off guard, a finisher! Quadra for him, and Fluxo looking rad and mad.
Good job coming from Fluxo. Right now, they are on the 11th place on the overall ranking, so they need these elimination points to boost them to get a higher ranking, a better point for a start tomorrow. But for EG Global, Cypher has been shot down with Parafall by Nero, ESports. But immediately being revived by Stop. They are waiting, they are looking, where are the players coming from PE Sport? Are they going to rush us in or they'll be just dropping by?
Interesting phenomenon if you think about this particular team for AG. Starting off the day, high elimination points. Not as aggressive, but understanding that they know that elimination is the key. But this time around, they found themselves on the other end of the barrel. But let's have a look at this replay first between Fluxo as well as Gaming Gladiator. They find Coachil all alone, and he was so separated, isolated from his teammates before finally they just completely collapsed onto the other members of Gaming Gladiators. That's how Fluxo was able to win this fight. And it was just Bunsin all alone. He managed to get a quad there. Understanding that positioning is key and isolating these fights, and in a way, is such an outplay for the mistakes done by Gaming Gladiators.
Yes, and with that as well, they need to reset again. And with the zone are going towards Zipway near Farmtopia, then the dangerous spot for each of the team there. And for the Cypher, is trying to hold it in with that glue wall there. We have traps coming from Team Solid, trying to break that glue wall as well.
Cypher so low. Gonna go for that reset, coming by to see what's gonna be happening. He seems to be left alone here. Inhaler use, he knows and hears his footsteps. He knows that X-Trap 7 is here. Comes to the top side, repositions, and that's massive. Denies the damage, be able to just really buy some time for him, for his teammates to come find him. Not able to do that. Gets a bit of a heal, and up, pick me up in fact. waits for the right opportune moment. Extraps have an understanding that if he were to just be playing alone and gets caught off guard here, he will be punished. But he is the one that is doing the punishing. Cypher knocked down, and it's just so beautifully played by Team Solid.
Yeah, and now they are getting that 1 elimination points toward the team. But we have Twisted Mind. They are engaging with Nanshu Miners with the glue wall there. Protote coming in strong with the Bison. Immediately taken one out by Proxy with the Parafall. Diamond also been taken out. But it's being revived. Chrono has been opened. Then they will be rushing in with the Tatsuya as well. With that, they are trying. Prox has been taken down. And now we are left with one. Nando. He's trying to run away, but unfortunately 3 players engage with him and immediately taking him out as well.
Twisted Minds finally finding their rhythm. This is massive with 7 already. Now EVOS, an interesting one. We talked about how they were able to get the top 2 earlier, but they weren't able to replicate that same success quite yet. It has been very, very competitive for them, hard for them to reposition. Now it's going to be Nero all alone in this situation. He can't do much, not enough income to really bring his teammates back in. It's all about being able to survive as much as he can, get as many of those coins before he brings them back. And speaking of bringing it back, it's going to be Buram United! What a shot! Finds the Miners, eliminates them! 12th place! And this must be heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking indeed, but now we are seeing Twisted Mind, PE Sport joining the lobby with 11th place been done by Twisted Mind. 8 elimination points. They are leading the eliminations in these 6 minutes. 2 squads being taken out immediately, but we are seeing Team Solid. They are trying to get one of the players coming from AG Global. Stop. And now with that 2 elimination points, they are moving. We are seeing the zone moving towards the Intellect Center, where RRQ already standing by. Whereas Falcon and Loud, they'll be fighting with each other maybe on Mortar Ruins.
But not too much. Positioning, I would say conservative. But they're doing such a good job of being able to go aggressively without compromising any of their members. And they wait. They know that Buram United is close. But on the other hand here, it's going to be the home turf, I would say, advantage for Falcons that finds themselves gate-capped by Loud. Loud, a team that is incredibly loud. They bring the fire, they bring the aggression. Ball's coming forward, but Cypher is going to be trying to find themselves and move them to his teammates. Knocked out already. Finished, in fact. Quad kill for Abax, and Carmel left all on his lonesome, keeping very quiet, not allowing anyone to find him. He needs to be able to bring his teammates. He needs to make Buram United at the top spot.
Oh, what a quick revive by AG Global as well. We are seeing they already revived their whole teammate, but they need to make sure that they have a spot to reset and regroup again. But for EVOS, they are using the jump pad, trying to go. I would say that the damage has been done quite tickle towards the player as well.
Yeah, no one really taking so much damage. Gaming Gladiators left with 2 in the bag. You can see there, they were trying to rotate into the area outside toward Museum. Finds themselves toe-to-toe with Buram United. Immediately U-turns back. And near them as well is RRQ. Bring our eyes onto this fight. EVOS is here. Toe-to-toe, find himself. EVOS has been trying to get to the circle. I was concerned that they were running straight into Loud. But clearly, they knew what to expect. Finding Yago, and now for EVOS, they're saying, okay, we're out in the zone a bit too long. Too much on the line. We're gonna run out of resources. We have to reposition. And on top of that, biggest problems they're gonna have.
Of course, right now with Twisted Mind, they are gatekeeping right now. This with Team Solid, AG Global, we have EVOS, we have Loud trying to get in. So the chances are Falcon and Twisted Mind will try to find more and more elimination points, and Team Solid gotten one, but Trap have been knocked down by Nameless. Can they make it? Right now the zone are also shrinking in.
Look at how many teams are still outside in the zone. There's so many!
Yeah. There are 2 players right now. AG Globals has been taken out as well, coming from Fluxo. Twisted Mind already taken a step back with that portal go as well. And now in 20 seconds left, the zone will shrink towards Intellect Center. This will be much more dangerous than the previous round with only a small spot there. And they need either to swim or to use the bridge to get to the other side. But if let's say they have the portal go, then the chances are who will be going first will have the certain advantage to keep the other 4 teams.
I think this is hunting season!
Oh!
He tried his best to survive, just wait it out. He can't do that. Protote, 3. It's so refreshing seeing another team kind of lead the eliminations right now. It's going to be Twisted Minds. 11 in their pocket, going to be so happy and excuse me, gonna be very happy with that. Excuse me. I was a bit distracted looking at Buriram United. They were right in front of Twisted Minds. But that fight's not happening yet. It's gonna be EVOS finally finding themselves in front of the Falcons. The Falcons have been gatekept for so very long, finds themselves in the low ground. But it's gonna be EVOS that's gonna be punished for daring to encroach into the area of Falcons. Good protocols, good trades, good collapse. Just denying that pickoff from the other area. On Fire is here, like his name. He can go very, very hard, and once he does, he goes in for the aggression. Speaking of aggression, it's going to be Buriram United. Good enough! Buriram United, Wasana as well. Punished, and Funa finally will be the last one. It's going to be Moshi all alone. Moshi, the star player, the one that makes things happen. Wasana is very much alive, still waiting here. But the fight's over on the bottom side with Wasana waiting quietly behind the glue wall. Is making sure that he can be found. And I don't think they have marked him quite yet because of all this chaos. He finds himself in front of Team Solid. Nick to be knocked out already. Wasana becomes the eel. Does what he does best. Finding a way, just really isolate these fights, go for the sprays, and it's so hard to react to this. And
Sana really carried the team there, but Team Solid has been taken out on the 9th place. Together with Falcon on the 10th, and right now the zone is shrinking, moving towards the Intellect Center where RRQ having the advantage. Twisted Mind with 14 elimination points, leading the leaderboard right here, but Buriram is trying. We are seeing a quarter of his HP, immediately headshot there, and with the Bison was Sana, immediately taking one more elimination, and with that Twisted Mind wipes out on the 8th place. 7 squad remaining on the 12 minutes.
What an interesting situation. Moshi eating a lot of damage there. Survived, and they spray. Stop saying stop right there. Get knocked to the lobby, and he does quite that. Takes him down, double for stop. Huge, huge wins for him. Start off really, really good, and they also get a reset for their teammates, bringing them back into the game. This is massive, and now the kill leader replaced by RRQ. Wasana all alone, quiet, trying to find a situation where he can go for these isolated fights. Those pickups will be very, very massive. Bit more of a quiet game for Buriram United, but for RQ, this is for them. Shooting all the members of AG out of the sky. Triple heal from Bai Hai. Not the best situation to be in AG, despite their efforts to stay alive, they can't.
Oh, what a great gameplay. It's great strategy coming from RRQ. They have 2 up on the tower and 2 down below, trying to demolish the other teammates that have been revived. And Wasana!
Wonderful to be revived, no problem at all. But in this situation, it's going to be a problem for Gaming Gladiators. Trying to keep alive. Protocols all around. RRQ understanding that they can't go too aggressively. In this situation, third party is definitely a strat for many, many of these teams. Dutz tries his best. Throwables, everything in the kitchen sink thrown out. And Gaming Gladiator, they struggle. Trying to get pick up, trying to go for the reset. But alive, slowly but surely, chipped. And Coachil gets knocked down once again.
Oh, but for RRQ, they are ready. With all the troubles has been done. Coachil has been knocked down. 2-4. Razor coming in with Abai High. They are trying to making sure for the team Gaming Gladiators will not going in. But for Coachil has been revived again. They are still waiting patiently. And RRQ also already moved back. Buriram, Moshi has been taken out by Mal. Trying to revive his own teammate. Wasana had to take a step back after the push coming from you, but
they did not see him! He's just so good! A silent killer! Call him an assassin! Whatever you want to say! He comes out when you least expect it! You think you're safe, and suddenly you're flying from the back! Moves out of the way, Wasana! Buys some time with that glue wall! It's so quick on that! His teammates are around. He goes inside as he knows there's one in there! He does it! But he survived! Stop that fighting at the end! 4th place, Wasana carries the team on his back all the way to 4th, and that's enough! Top 3 now. AG with only 1 member. Fuxo and healthy with 4. Bunsin finds 2 members of RQ already. Ahead on 4v4 here. Finds GU as well. Mal tries to bring more. He's just proning on the top side. Finds some tie. Healing. Finds Mal as long as he can. MT7 is here. Portal Go finds him. And he rushes down. Drops to the bottom. Finds no one. And he's okay with that. So up time. But the booyah is going to go to no other than our team here.
Oh, what a great gameplay coming from Fluxo! At last, they got...
If you think about it, this is the team that was on the brink of knockout. This is a team that won through the tiebreaker. And they make it in the end, breaking the streak of Buriram United. Takes down the kill leader, RRQ. This is a team that has perseverance, resilience, a team that is one of the best from Brazil. RQ comes in second, but kudos to them, shining in the end of the day.
Shining indeed. And also for AG Global and Buriram. For Buriram, Wasana really did his time. Really, he was alive.
He
and
was massive
he
at
tried
surviving.
himself, taking out all the players all by himself and gotten the 4th place. But for AG Global as well, they tried their best, but they are being pushed as well. And with that, RRQ and Fluxo were the one fighting. But for RRQ, from what I'm seeing, unfortunately for them, they were...
For a fact is that Fluxo, they started strong and they ended strong by getting our first and last booyahs today on Point Rush Day. And sure, maybe they didn't manage to take first place away from Buriram. That was a behemoth task for any team that wanted to try, but for Fluxo, we were worried about them coming into Point Rush, and to see this ray of light beaming across this team, fans from Brazil, they've got to be so happy for Fluxo and looking forward to seeing how they're going to do today. But let's talk Fluxo. That end game for them was perfect. Eliminations, positioning, everything was in their favor, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, end of the game, elimination leader, and then they grabbed that point for the placement. Ending with 34 in total and 22 on elimination. I mean, this different Fluxo overall. But as you mentioned, it's only from the beginning up until the end. But what happened in between, that is where they had difficulty.
Yeah, but I gotta take it out of the game, right? And gotta give it to Fluxo as well. I mean, this is mentality of champions, if you kind of think about it. Like, you had a really big drop even during the group stages as well, but you still managed to bounce back at the end. Now, of course, it's not the end yet. We still got tomorrow, but they still showed that they are still able to stand up again, even though they went down.
I mean, the biggest thing is consistency, right? I mean, getting the first and the sixth one is great, but in the middle, they kind of fell asleep, right? And I'm kind of worried for this one, especially if you're going to go up against BRU, where you have to play your A game every single game.
Yeah, actually, speaking of BRU, right, they did reasonably well in this round. Even though they didn't get the booyah, they still managed to get eliminations. They hung around, so they were able to also pick up points for themselves. So the consistency for Buriram, it's still there, okay? Yeah, not a booyah, but the points, the placements, they're proving that, yeah, okay, first 2 games are still snoozing. Maybe someone's still left at the hotel. We kind of don't know what happened there. But at the end of the day, if you finish on top by getting so many back-to-back booyahs, that's a good sign for you going into grand finals, because we've finished all of our games today for Point Rush. These teams are locked in for their grand finals head start points. And now it's D-Day. This is the time where these teams, you can't afford to make mistakes anymore for grand finals, because if you mess up in that next game, that might just be it. Your key's getting crushed.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, well, so far before crushing of the keys will be happening, let's see. The MVP, it is Bobs with 8 elimination and close to 3,000 in the damage. Not so much healing needed because they kept their distance from all the gunfight. We saw them earlier on the final battle wherein Wasana was trying to survive and they was just hanging in there trying to look for an enemy.
Yeah, and if you look at their strategy, so this is probably the strategy that works well for them, but does it work all the time? Not really though, because if you kind of like try to stay away from fights, there's another side to look at it is that you may lose elimination points to other teams. So sometimes you really have to get in. But maybe in this round is that they try to find the momentum again, try to find their what works for them, at least from a mentality perspective. So that's why they kind of stay away from fights and take those long distance instead.
No, I think it's a huge confidence boost for them, right? And I think that they played it well. It was the whole risk versus reward thing, and they ended up paying off with spades. I think that that's what you want to do, especially going into the grand finals. Yes, they didn't take the top 3 in this one. I don't think. We're going to have to calculate. I don't have my abacus right now, but we're going to find out and see exactly where they stand.
Well, we have the graphical abacus that's going to be popping up in just a second here, showing the final scoreline for these teams today. So as we can see at the very top, Buriram United Esports going to be taking the lion's share of Point Rush points today, followed by AG Global. Props to AG. Super consistent today, always either towards the middle of the pack or grabbing those eliminations. This is something that you're looking for if you are supporting a team that can consistently prove that they are reliable every game.
Yeah, I mean, AG Global, same as Buriram United Esports. 3 out of 6 maps, top 3, 50% overall. That's what they need right now. That consistency as well as a little bit more of tactic gameplay coming from the team, initiation coming from Zoo, and the rest of the team just going in as a follow-up. That's what they need right now. Thus, they grab 51 on the elimination. But if we're talking about elimination overall, Buriram United Esports, 71 in total.
Yeah, that is a big number there. But on the other end, though, I want to point it out loud. Yeah, unfortunately, they are on the other end, and there were a lot of expectation for Laos, considering that they did really, really well during the group stages. But at this stage, unfortunately, it totally didn't work out for them. I mean, they lost a lot of their early fights where they run into a team, they lost fights. It's all about just losing fights for Laos. So, should we be too concerned? Maybe, maybe not, because the points might not be that big, but still, every point might matter.
Yeah, I want to actually kind of go on a little bit deeper on that one, because Loud actually in the group stage, they had 133 eliminations in 12 games. That's 11 kills a game, right? They ended up with what, 22 over 6 games? This is a really bad day for Loud.
Really bad day, and I guess we have to also factor into consideration that previously in those previous groups, certain matchups were not possible. Now we have our top 12 teams lumped together, and all of a sudden, you're in a really stacked lobby, and sometimes you're going to have some Titans clash early, you know? As much as you want to drop your favorite drop points, someone else also likes that drop point, so you have to remember, do you concede or do you fight for it? And we've seen a couple teams, you know, as strong as they are, sometimes in the early game, you just fall to the silliest of things because, you know, RNG when you're trying to pick up loot. If you try and compete with another team, Neptune, you said this to me before, if someone picks up a gun and someone picks up a glue wall, you know who's going to win that matchup.
Definitely. I mean, glue wall might be able to stop damage, but you won't be able to put up so much damage. But one thing's for sure, I'm hoping giving best out for Buriram United for the grand finals, because we all know they can put this fight, they can put this all points right here. But when it comes to where it really matters, at some point, that's where they fail.
Just putting out another theory, maybe because they are #1, so a lot of these teams, they already studied Loud, so kind of blocked Loud out from getting more points.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to get that target off their back, you know, just sort of cool it down a little bit, maybe not have those points. We'll have to find out later today, but we are going to have a quick interview with Bop, so let's see what he has to say after that victory.
Hey everyone, welcome to our interview show after the match. Right next to me is Fluxo Bobs. Bobs, can you say hello to the audience, please?
Você pode dizer oi para a audiência, por favor?
E aí, rapaziada, tranquilo? Como vocês estão?
E aí? Hi guys, how are you?
A very warm greeting. So, congratulations on your first Booyah. During our 6 matches today, how would you rate your team performance?
Parabéns pela sua boia hoje. Durante os nossos 6 jogos hoje, como você classificaria a performance do time de vocês?
Foi uma performance ali razoável, fechamos 2 buias, mas não jogamos tão bem como deveríamos, mas amanhã é a final, todo mundo está confiante e empolgado para a final, concentrado apenas para amanhã.
It was a reasonable one. It was only 2 booyahs. We still concentrated for tomorrow.
For me, 2 booyah is very good enough. So, did you have fun today and experience many new things in the game as well?
Para mim, 2 buias é bastante. Vocês também se divertiram? Tiveram uma boa experiência no jogo?
Com certeza, tá todo mundo alegre, feliz. O buia dá uma alegria imensa também, então é isso, tá todo mundo feliz.
Sure, everyone is happy, everyone is excited. Buia makes everyone happy.
That's good to hear. Have you prepared any tactics that you want to show to other teams in the grand finals tomorrow?
Você preparou alguma tática que você quer mostrar para algum time para a grande final amanhã?
Tática sempre tem, mas provavelmente nós vamos manter o que nós fizemos. Tá dando certo, entre aspas, mas na final vai dar certo, pode confiar.
We always have tactics. We're going to keep doing what we're doing and we're going to keep it for tomorrow.
Amazing. Last word, anything you want to say to the viewers and the Fluxo fans?
Alguma coisa que você quer dizer para os fãs de Fluxo e Verus?
Para todo mundo tá aí acompanhando, tá acordando cedo aí no Brasil, muito obrigado pela torcida e é nóis, segue o fluxo, vapo.
For everyone who's seeing us waking up early in Brazil, that's it, we're there. Follow Fluxo.
That's really great. Congratulations again on your very second Booyah. Now, let's head back to the studio, everyone.
Thank you, Yunsul. I had some very motivated fans there from Fluxo during the interview. But great news for Fluxo. Team's feeling really good, especially getting that final Booyah. But it's not over for Fluxo or any team because we are literally setting up for this grand final. That's going to be kicking off tomorrow. Everything on the line. 12 teams are going to be cut down to 1 because only one of them will be able to hold that trophy and be crowned the champion here at the Esports World Cup. This is going to be as usual for today. As per usual, no big changes, same order of maps, but the big question mark there, what is going to be that random map? We won't know up until that game starts tomorrow. But gentlemen, we've had an explosive day today. Storylines are being made and set up for that grand final day. Any final thoughts before we end the show for today?
Well, again, I'll repeat what I said about Buriram United. Hopefully they can hear me. Hopefully they can finish this tournament well because they've done that in knockout stage. They've done that in the qualifiers, and this is their chance to break that curse.
I mean, a lot of hype for Buriram, I understand, but let's not forget as well what the casters did mention about Falcons. I mean, they have the home ground support, the fans are cheering for them, and maybe tomorrow will be the day they prove it back to the fans.
Yeah, and it looks like Fluxo has actually heard the fans, the Brazilian fans, about how they really need to step up. They did so. Now, the Brazilian fans need to get on the other 3 Brazilian teams to kind of pick them up because they're going to really need your support tomorrow.
I think a lot of teams are going to want your support. So if there's anyone that you're supporting, let them know. Show it on their social media. Send them messages because this is the final moments that you're going to have left before we do end this entire tournament, the entire show, the grand finale. But to everyone that is watching, thank you all so much. It is day 4, second last day here at the Esports World Cup. Come back tomorrow, exact same time, and find out with us who will be our champion here for the Free Fire Esports World Cup 2024. My name is Danielle, my analyst here. We have Neptune, SoCloud, and Hula. We're all signing off. See you all tomorrow.
You ever wondered how a Hollywood movie is shot? On a Sony. You review it on a Sony. And how do you make that sound epic? You record it on a Sony. Lunch break on a Sony. So why wouldn't you watch it on a Bravia by Sony?
ATF, he wants to fight, man. He knows he's strong. He has Gem. He can frontline. You just have to find that opening. Got to get the initiation off the Primal Beast. I feel like if you let Sand King get to the Bloodstone here, it's gonna be tough to just run into him with the auras behind him.
Count him up. So many auras. Grab on Sand King, immediately denied by the adaptive strike. BCM pulled back in by the Bushwhack, trying to get away, but he's just stuck in this muck and cannot seem to get out. They got the pick off of the Sand King. The Primal Split is used, though, and Tomato jumps forward to kill the Crystal Main, puts some damage back onto Maureen. At half HP, Falcons are able to reset on their cores. 2 supports for Sand King, and a Primal Split used. Are Falcons happy with that?
Yeah, I think so. Kind of hard to tell, but I feel like their supports have been suffering, and that Sand King is the highest net worth hero in the game, so...
Yeah, what's a little bit more pain and misery?
Yeah, they'll be up in no time. Benefit of the low levels here.
That's true, that's true.
And that hand I got healed him for so much there. Crazy how much healing you have to get through here for Falcons, and you have, you know, a Vessel to help you in a Whirling Death. That's kind of it, though. The rest is just damage you're throwing into the brick wall. They just need more damage here if you're Falcons. You need it wherever you can get it.
Open up on the Timber Saw, half HP already. A huge amount of burst damage from OG. But they can't quite get the kill, and now Maureen comes back in for a bit of punish, though going on to a Morphling. He's already morphed to Strength primarily. Not a great target for them, especially with all the auras behind the Morphling. It turns that 5,000 HP into like an effective HP of like 10k, so let's not even bother.
You can see both these sides. They have a lot of HP to get through here. You really have to be careful about who you commit on and how much you commit on them. If you throw your initial volley and it doesn't bring that target down, the other team's going to try and turn on you. That's where your supports can bleed out some quick deaths, and then you're at a numbers disadvantage. 4 staves seem really good for both teams here. Generally, these kind of games where you're playing with these really tanky frontliners, 4 staves and Glimmer Capes, these types of items shine because it lets you just disengage the guy the enemy commits on and then re-engage as a full unit. Saw the Hurricane Pike from Tomato. Would not be surprised to see a bit more.
Big push out from Falcons, not with the smoke though. Ari spots him coming. It's the Spike Carapace and the Vendetta.
It's so hard to catch him, man.
Yeah, that facet is big.
Chance to just go high ground with some overwhelming power. All the auras behind you. Seb back to playing 3 position here. Didn't take him long.
Straight up, trying to catch Falcons in the river here. Doesn't quite work.
Wants to force the BKB. Did get the Dispel and the Amp damage rune as well, but no last